Okay, you ready?
Ready.
Ready.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. And every day we rise is a great day to be live. And welcome to the Seven Cities Forums of Hampton Roads presents Portsmouth Coffee Talk. And I'm here with host Leah Drake Stitt.
Hello, good morning.
I'm James Slim Overton. Good morning, Leah. And if you're missing one of the crew, it's the Colonel Thomas, the Colonel Chapman. He's in Hawaii enjoying. He's either watching live now or because it's about 1 o'clock there. So he's watching live now or he'll be watching later. But anyway, we're gonna miss his political commentary.
James, excuse me, James, do me one favor and
Sure.
let me know if you see live on, because I'm not seeing it on my phone. It says that I'm on live, but I don't see it on my cell phone.
And I'm on your page as well, and I don't see it.
You don't see it? Let me stop it and start it again.
Yeah, and make sure you are public, right?
I'm gonna stop and start again.
Okay.
I don't know why I didn't live on Facebook. Just a minute.
Okay, everybody, be patient. You out there. We're technical difficulties, and we'll get them straight, and we'll start with our special guest in a few minutes. But we're glad you're there on Zoom. So let me see if I see you. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll see if I see you live. We're glad you're there on Zoom. You're somewhere.
I don't know why it's not. I don't know why it's not going to Facebook. And we getting feedback.
Okay, I see you now. You're on live. You're on live now. I see you now. You're on live. You're on live now. Is that the feedback on your end?
I think it is. Let me stop it. Wait a minute. I apologize to you all. I don't know what's going on this morning. Let me stop it. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, Sarah.
Okay.
Do you have
Let me see.
your
I'm gonna try it again, James. Wait a minute.
Mhm.
Technology, Sarah.
Exactly.
We're gonna try this one more time and see what happens.
So you're redoing the
I'm redoing the live portion of it, yes.
okay.
Well, if you see it on your end. Okay.
Yeah, I see. Well, I'll go ahead because I see us.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
You can hear us here. Okay, now again, good morning, everybody, and I hope everybody was patient when this records on our YouTube channel. Everybody in YouTube land will be patient and saw that we had little technical difficulties getting started, but we are on Facebook Live now and online, and thank you for the people that are watching so far. So I'll go and introduce Leah is one of the hosts, and I'm James Slim Overton. And if you're missing the other host, it's Thomas the Colonel Chapman. He's in Hawaii, and they're having a family excursion there in Hawaii. So we're going to miss him today, his political commentary or just his presence. But we'll be back here next time we come on the air. Okay, so but anyway, we have a special guest here today, and Sara Ogle, and she is. I saw that she. You know, most of the time you call people that manage apartments property managers, but she prefers community manager, and that's pretty much the topic of we're talking about apartments. And I put the question when I was promoting this: can apartments be a community? And I think we'll answer that question today. We're here with Sara, but Welcome. Good morning, Sarah. Thanks for being our guest today.
Good morning.
She is the community manager at Westwinds Apartments out in Churchland, and a beautiful complex. And you know, we want to talk about, you know, the apartments in the city. You know, a lot of people are going there. A lot of people are long-term apartment renters, and some people are just starting out, young couples or singles just starting out, and prefer that that apartment life, as far as affordability and convenience. You know, so tell us. You know, we have a lot of apartments in the city of Portsmouth. Well, first, tell us a little bit about Westwinds.
Well, Westwinds is located in Churchland, and it's 408 units. So that's right about 1,200 residents. We have a small city out there within our city. We have, like you said, a lot of long-term residents. They've been here. I mean, we were built in 85. We have still some who, we have families who have lived here since 1985. We have 3 to 5 families who've been there since the beginning. Yeah, actually it's like 5% of the residents have been there over 15 years. So that's their home. They have no desire to go anywhere else. And who can blame them? And then, I don't know. I mean, it's a strong community. We do a lot of, we're really active with the residents, and we stay very engaged. We have lots of opportunities to be engaged. I have a funny slogan. I don't know if it's funny, but it's something I always say, that, you know, Westwinds is a place where neighbors become friends and friends become family. We hear stories all the time where everybody's having Thanksgiving dinner together, or they're just having walking clubs, walking the community. I don't know, cookouts at the gazebo. They start knowing each other from coming into the events, and I don't know, they just become family.
Yeah, you know, and one of my experiences in apartment life was when I was in Richmond, right out of school, and one of the things I noticed this was in the 70s, even though the neighborhoods were pretty much still segregated, the apartments, you know, was the first time I had lived in a diverse community, you know, a mixed community where
Right.
there were people there other than African Americans. And it pretty much, most apartments, even back before the communities start integrating, you know, even though they were able to integrate, but it was still pretty much,
Right.
you had different communities. But the apartment life gave me an opportunity to meet different people,
Mm-hmm.
and some that I'm still friends with now. So
Right.
about how important that is, you know, because that's one of the amenities of being in an apartment. People, being a former realtor, I would tell people, you know, well, you don't want to rent too long, because that rent that you're paying could be going into a mortgage. But
Right.
that's not always the best for some people, for
No.
a variety of reasons.
Mm-hmm. I even, like you just said on that, one of the amenities I always say is it's the experience. Like, we create a lot of experience for children where they can, you know, look back and say, oh, remember when we used to have movie nights by the pool, or gives the parents something for their kids to do, where you don't have to even think about, what are we going to do this weekend? Oh, they got plenty of stuff at the apartments. So no one really has to go anywhere. Mm-hmm. The amenity.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, James. Go ahead.
And you talked about the children. It's kind of easy to get that person that has that door right next to you to
Yeah.
say, "Can you watch my children?" Because you know them. And the neighborhoods now, you know, is not like it was when Leah and I grew up. You know, you can not know your next door neighbor, and something could happen. So, oh wow, that person. But in the apartments, you're I don't want to say forced, but you have the advantage of living in close proximity with people, and you tend to become closer. So all your children, you know, everybody watches out for everybody. That's one community, I think, as far as people that have children, you know,
True.
in their apartments.
At least that's what you hope for. You know,
Yeah.
we're becoming we're becoming an age where people don't like to talk to people and, just to stay into their self. They're becoming very, what's it called? Segregated in their own
Mhm.
community, like not race wise, but just people wise. They don't want to engage with anyone. So I think it's important to create an environment where it feels like a safe space where you want to engage with each other.
And Sarah, as the Westwinds manager, you've been there for how long now?
9 years.
And that's unusual for a manager because the shelf life of a manager is not very long. So it must mean that you're doing something special out there in Westwinds that you're still there. Why so long?
I just love it out there. I really came to Westwinds back in 2013, and I really had a goal. I had a career path, and I said I'm going to do 5 years, and I'm moving on and moving up. And I got there. I love the company. I love the community. And the passion started growing when the community aspect of it started growing. And it led to bigger passion doing other things outside in the bigger community.
So you take it out beyond Westwood.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
And it's not really apartments complex. And like you said, some people pretty much stay to themselves. It's not really complexes that have community days like you all been having out there. Just like a neighborhood, a residential neighborhood might have. Y'all have community days out there. And like Leah just said, invite the surrounding communities to be. You have something come up. Talk about that. Is that the kick?
Yeah, this weekend we have our kickoff to summer kickoff cookout, kickoff summer cookout.
That's a lot to say there.
I know.
Especially this early in the morning.
Yes. So we're partnering with Impact Church, which is right there on Town Point Road as well. And we are doing just a great big cookout. We'll have volleyball, kickball, cookout food, carnival caterings come in with their delicious funnel cakes. And it's just going to be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm.
And where would this take place?
Ma'am?
Where would this take place?
At Westwinds. We have a nice big field right next to our clubhouse, and we'll have it right there. And
when? What's the date?
This Saturday. This Saturday. 11 to 1. Mm-hmm. May 20, 11 to 1. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's open to anybody?
Yep, open to the public. Bring the kids out, just bring your chairs, come out and socialize and enjoy fellowship. And I'm supposed to do a plug. It's Miss Tangela's 60th birthday.
Okay. So you're going to celebrate Miss Tangela's 60th birthday, huh?
So it's like
Angela is one of our long-term residents. She's been there since '94.
Oh, wow.
She does our DJing for all of our events because she just loves it. So she plays us some music, and she's at all the events. And Angela, staple.
You having Westwinds sounding like when you go to the resorts on the islands, all the activities that they have planned for you.
One time someone said, "This sounds like a campground." I'm like, call it what you will.
Yeah, I saw something like 2 out of 10 people in living in apartments, and that's like a United States or a figure there. Is that something that you see here in the city of Portsmouth or in Virginia, that you get that kind of percentage of people that it's lower than homeowners, but you get that kind of percentage of people? And after that, what kind of turnover do you have, in Westwinds? Because sometimes if the apartments is something that's really livable and comfortable for people, they tend to stay longer. But if you have issues, people come and go. So.
Yeah. I wish I could say that the numbers right now are indicative of what it normally is, but pandemic has made things a little different. But no one's moving, and so I'll take it. We have, it's part of the housing crisis as well, but we're taking advantage of it, and we're creating experience to when this does end, you're still not going to want to leave. Pre-pandemic, we were retaining right about 60% of our residents, and an average is right about 40. And now this year we're right at 70% so far. So, I mean, knock on wood, I don't want to speak anything into existence, but, I hope everyone does continue to stay, and we got a lot of fun stuff on the agenda. And, while we have business too, rents are increasing, and, that's not fun, but it's part of the market. But we have to create the experience for them so that they want to continue to stay and they find that it's worth their money to stay.
Yeah, I was about to ask you that because I noticed that since COVID, housing expenses they've gone up tremendously. So you are experiencing that as well.
And it's, from a business standpoint, it makes sense. It's kind of like everything, milk's $5.
Exactly.
Fortunately, rent's well.
Yeah, it was kind of hard for me. Well, it's been a long time since I paid rent in an apartment, but to see the average rent, when I saw the rents out there, I said, okay, wow, like 1,200 to 1,400.
Right.
And the average of the United States, it fell right in line with what your rent is.
And we're slightly lower than a lot in Churchland. Like it's outrageous what renting prices have gone on to, but also housing has gone inflated. So I mean, it had to trickle down onto the apartments as well.
Even in the Ogle neighborhoods, and it must be something to it because we get a lot of investors coming in the city of Portsmouth and building apartments downtown, and still out there in Churchland, they're building and filling them up and occupying them. What's the vacancy rate out where you are?
We have no vacancies. We have a wait list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And how long is the wait list?
We're looking at like July, August right now for all the different floor plans. I think that possibly once the the rent assistance program has ended.
That ended last night, right?
So I think once that starts coming to a close, we're going to see a huge shift in, availability of units on the market, and which will kind of drive some of the prices. I don't know that they're going back down, but hopefully they'll level off a little for some renters because it is tough for renters.
So that rent would include everything. It's not like they have to pay $1,200 and then pay electricity or
oh no, they also pay utilities. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow. With Westwinds, we include cable, but which is still a big bill. I mean,
oh, it is that's for sure.
Our house, $300. But we had, you have to cut it. But we offer the cable, and then a big chunk of our community has gas, so they pay gas and electric and water. And then the section is about 72 units. That was built a few years later. That was all electric. So they, just have their electric and water.
Wow. And let's talk a little bit about some of the social things you'll be involved with. The first time I met you was at a autism walk,
right?
For a young lady who had an adult child that had autism. It's just trying to bring awareness to that, because a lot of times we don't talk about the kids that are kids and they grow into adults, and nobody talks about that. So I was just looking for, and you were there, supporting. And as I look at the apartments and things like that, because I'm sure it's people that have issues, that live out there, families that have issues. Is there anything going on that probably would help with that? You have the clubhouse and everything that you all do to kind of help or help the parents, or have meetings, something like that might have children with disabilities. We did
participate in the Autism Awareness Walk. And we had a group of residents to come out with us as a community to walk. And we partner with several different grassroots organizations. As far as like doing programs at the office for every woman, we partnered with them, and we did, they bring their booth up. We had a very nice Churchland Harvest Festival back in October, and we had all of the different businesses and well, not all the businesses, but we had a lot of businesses out there. But before every woman came out, they did like health screenings and gave out information about women's health. We did PRR, and We the People came out and did a financial planning class with the like a 6-week financial planning class. Get the financial house in order. We also have participated in a CHKD walk. We've done different cancer walks. We we hosted a blood drive. We had a vaccine clinic, just lots of stuff as far as, with health wise and things like that and resources. We also, we partner with all the different, I keep saying all the different, I'm sure there are a lot more grassroots organizations, but we feel like it's really important to give back where we can. It's corporate responsibility, and it's just the right thing to do. But I always feel like if you can give back, you should give back. And so we've partnered with a lot of different groups. Give Back to the Block. We did a backpack drive with them, and a Christmas, we did the gift drive. We did a partnership with currently we're working with Stop the Violence 757, and Monica Atkins, she's got a nice bike for the gun violence awareness weekend.
Right.
Like at our office now for that walk. We've partnered with so many. I hate to leave anybody out. Yeah. I did write them all down. We partnered with Fundamental Hoops, and we participated.
Okay, Fundamental Hoops. Yes, Gene Swinson.
Yes.
Yeah. I do some work with Gene Swinson on Tuesday. So.
Oh, nice.
Good people.
He's good people. Yeah.
Good people.
We supported, rather, we didn't sponsor, but we went to the sneaker ball. We brought a group of kids with us there. We do some stuff with Hope Inc., Food Bank of Southeastern Virginia. We did a real nice, we did that walk for the coldest night of the year walk with Dr. Arlene Washington Spark. Getting tongue twisted. We do some stuff with Portsmouth Volunteers for the Homeless. We did a nice clothing drive with them. And then Impact Church. A lot of people get caught up in the whole, you got to separate the church and state. But if you are just doing community things, you can 100% partner with different churches. They've been a blessing. We also have several business partners like Peace and Grind Wellness Center. We did a real nice, her name's Marissa Ashby, and we did a really cool, she had this Christmas program where she had different activities. First off, I don't know where she finds time. She's got 5 very young kids, and she has a whole entrepreneur, and she has this beautiful center downtown Portsmouth. It's a couple doors down from the Children's Museum.
What's the name of it again?
Peace and Grind Wellness Center.
Yes.
On fire. We had a beautiful Christmas event there where we did a Santa's workshop, and we just gave away gifts to the kids who came in, and she had all kinds of activities for everybody to do there. That place is
Sarah, when you say you're talking about Westwinds?
Westwinds and Friends of Churchland. I started Friends of Churchland, which is a community engagement initiative. And I like to partner the two together. We do community cleanup days and different, I think it's my way of inviting the community into Westwinds. And this weekend, Kashiba, Miss Cannon, she's got the opening for her Blessed Christian Homeschool. They're doing their big ribbon cutting at her homeschool. We partnered with them, and we did Read Across America Day and came and read to the kids. So we're very involved in the community.
And that's pretty unusual. I only lived in an apartment in New York City, but I never knew that the apartments were so engaging with activities 4 hours. Thought, you move into an apartment and you're in the apartment, you pay your rent, you have your family, you stay to yourself. But that's not the case. It has become truly a community.
Yes. Yeah. And it's how it should be, and I think a lot of the property managers miss the mark when they get so stuck on being a property manager, because then you're just managing the property. And that's what I was telling Slim. I said, we're community managers. If you're not being a community manager, you're missing the mark. You are. It's true.
I remember you saying one thing, some people in the surrounding communities had a certain way they felt about people in apartments.
Yeah.
To the point to call them those people. And those people, how are they any different from anybody else? But that's just a perception people might have of people in apartments. And as far as you all being as involved as you are, just like my community civically is, just like you all being involved as you are, dispels whatever feelings people might have about people in apartments, which I don't understand, because they're the same people that live beside them in the neighborhoods. But
exactly, and work with them in their business, like get their job.
Yeah, and I don't know too many apartments that do that, and it's sort of a good thing, and it's probably why you have so many longtime people there, because apartments I never really saw the property manager. That's what I'm gonna call them, because that's all they do, manage the property, collect the rent. And I've been in maybe about 3 apartments, over the lifetime. And I never, only time I saw them was when I went in there to pay my rent. And it was nothing beyond that.
Complaint. Like that's usually when you get to see the man, no one sees the manager. You have to go make a complaint or pay your rent. What was really fun it was a fun fact for me. I had a male assistant my assistant manager for a long time. He kind of handled the money, he was definitely a good buffer for resident complaints of when we had them. But I was always on the floor. I was always out front. So when he left, everybody always said, well, who's going to be the new manager? And I was like, we don't have a new manager. I'm the manager. What are you talking about? You're all here with us. What do you mean? I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. This is what we should be doing.
Wow.
Yeah,
but is that typical for apartment complexes? Is this typical, or is this something that's just taking place here at Westwinds?
You can speak on other property managers. I would hope that they would follow suit. I mean, that's my goal. I want to be an inspiration, and hopefully, other communities will fall in line and do the same. I mean, we have a responsibility.
Wow. And even some people look at it like, well, the people in apartments, they don't pay real estate taxes, so they don't deserve the same things as far as what the city offers. But beg to differ on that. They might not pay real estate taxes, but the apartment complex is.
Right.
And it's because of the rent that they pay that the apartment complex can pay the real estate taxes, which is, a significant amount.
They pay other taxes. Don't be fooled. They have vehicle tax, and
indirectly they are paying real estate taxes when they pay that rent, and the taxes that come with everything else. As far as, like you said, they pay their utilities and everything. So it's taxes levied on that. So don't look at the apartment dwellers as people that don't, and they have a vote too out there, politicians. So
they do.
Pay attention to the people out there. Let's talk about safety. Safety. Some people look at safety in apartments. It might be more safe because of the close knitness of it. There has been some problems in the surrounding areas out in Churchland, just like they have all over the city of Portsmouth.
Right.
How are y'all addressing that? Because I did see a picture where it looks like you have a relationship with the police department and maybe the sheriff department, at least at your activities. So
we do. We have a very close relationship with our community officers, and every quarter, which we're coming up on a new one, I do what's called, I called it, we do not know what we would do without you meet and greet. They were a little offended. Officer Henderson said, never put me on a flyer with the again.
I can hear Henderson saying that as well. That's for
did.
sure.
But I think it's important that the community get to know their officers so they can feel comfortable coming to them. I mean, there's definitely a stigma when it comes to police officers, and unfortunately, you know, some bad apples have made it that way. So I think it's important that you meet your officers and you build a relationship with them. We also, we definitely have off third-party security that we also use. So, you know, it kind of keeps things down. But I think the biggest thing for us has been really creating that sense of community where everybody's looking out for each other. That's
great.
really helped. Yeah.
So we had that moment there, you know, the moment where everybody's just kind of, oh, okay. But I want to get back to your event that's coming up on Saturday. I think you need to share with those who may be just coming on so they can hear about the event, what your plans are for this Saturday.
Okay, well, this Saturday we have our kickball cook-off, every time kickball cookout. And we're partnering with Impact Partners and Impact Church, and we are going to have nice cookout to start off the summer. And we're going to have music, fun, kickball. Different vendors are going to be out there. My favorite's the Carnival Catering food truck. I got a problem. I have a weakness for those funnel cakes. I'm telling you, Tanya got Tanya funnel cakes. That's how she's in my phone. Wink, wink.
I just wrote it down so we can remember it the next time we have an event.
Yeah, so good. And they do more than funnel cakes, but those funnel cakes are fire.
And at what time will it take place?
11 to 1.
11 until 1, and it will be on the Westwinds grounds.
Yep.
And it is open to the public to attend.
Correct. Yep.
Wow, that should be nice.
Bring your family out. It's going to be so much fun. Everything's so much fun, but no, I say everything's fun, but everything is.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you have a lot of children in the Westwinds apartments?
We have a lot of everybody at Westwinds apartments.
Okay.
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, we and you know, we do a good job. We have a report that's it's called a demographic report, but it kind of helps us keep track of, you know, the age group of our residents so that we can cater events more towards everyone who lives there. You know, plus I try to be more engaging with the outside community, bringing them in so everybody gets a sense of, you know, this is what we do at Westwinds. And while that's secondary, you know, marketing the community is secondary to me. It's always about building community at the end of the day.
That's excellent. Excellent.
And I would suggest, if you haven't done it already, when the political season comes around, you have a form out there, a form for candidates.
I was just talking to Onyx about that. Well, Lakeisha.
Yeah, for the school.
I'm like, what is this Lakeisha business?
She's Onyx to us as well. Okay.
Yes, that would be so much fun. We actually had really fun at our national night out last year. We had a huge block party, and we had Mr. Bamberg and Vice Mayor Barnes was out there. Deanna Stanton, all the candidates kind of came out and kind of mingled with the residents. I thought it was really cool that, what was his name? Lawrence Mason. We weren't even in his district, but it was just nice. Once he even realized it, he was like, it doesn't matter because someone knows someone. So he just was really awesome with the community, but it was really fun because we got Mr. Bamberg in the dunk tank, and
wow,
they were having a lot of fun with that. And Vice Mayor Barnes, who knew everyone had such a vendetta against dunking him in that tank.
Find out if they sit up there, you know.
It was a lot of fun.
Forms out there, you know, for the people that are out there, because so they can be brought up knowledgeable of the candidates and their platforms, and when they propose, they can make the right decisions, because what goes on, the policies that goes on in city council affects them as well. You know, even individual real estate owners, but a lot of things that go on in the city will.
Right.
And that's a lot of votes out there. I'm sure the candidates, once
Sure.
they know, how many renters you say?
I've read about for renters, so I mean that's a lot of votes.
Yeah.
You're missing the mark when you don't market to them. I was thinking, I went to one of the police meetings recently. They have the community meeting for property managers, and one of the officers was going over the different things that they are going to have at the National Night Out this year, they're going to have where you can register to vote. And she said something that really bothered me, because she said, oh, well, this isn't a big election, but, we need to make sure, we just put it out there. This is a huge election. All elections are huge. What do you mean?
And especially your local elections. Your local elections are your most important elections, in as much as they control your day-to-day lives.
Yes.
So you have to do the local piece. So
piece.
yeah. I don't like people minimizing local elections,
Don't say that.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to get out there, and sometimes they miss those people that are in the apartments, and some of them might not go out to vote because they say, well, they don't care about us. I mean, what, nobody comes out here, nobody. But a lot of the apartments are not set up like you are to receive that kind of form or whatever. They just, like I said, collect the rent, and put those notices on your door when you're late.
And it's unfortunate because they really should make an effort. Mm-hmm.
I think the engagement you have will tend to make people really want to pay on time. I mean,
they don't want to upset their friend Sara.
The atmosphere, they want everybody to see those notes on their door. Yeah. But and I think you all, Leads are registered downtown, as an organization, but I've seen tenants, apartment tenants registered down there too as well. Are you all registered as not as a civic league? I guess you're in a different category, but it's the same thing like a civic league. You register downtown so people. Yeah,
we're really not registered downtown. We are we have a neighborhood watch, and we utilize that forum for that as well, but we're not a civic league, no.
Yeah, well, you don't have to be a civic league, I don't think, to be registered down there as a group, a community group. The reason I asked that, because sometimes it helps. That's what people, politicians or investors or everything, look on that list. So they give, and they go down and they shoot out information to those different organizations.
Gotcha.
So it might be something to look into.
Yeah. Thank you for
down there. You do so much in the city and so much involved. I think it's advantageous for you to be on that list.
Yeah.
So now, after you do your event on Saturday, what do you have coming up after that?
After Saturday, that kicks off summer. So we'll have so many weekend events this summer. We'll have food truck Fridays,
food truck Fridays.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we have different food trucks. In the past, we've used Star J's Barbecue and, of course, Carnival Catering. But different food trucks. I like to have somebody new every Friday.
And they're there from what time until what time?
5 to 7 p.m. on Friday.
Okay.
Weather permitting, of course. And then Saturdays, we do snow cone socials at the pool. And Sundays, we have pool volleyball, and we have different activities outside. And every month we have a community event. Every month we do one. Winter months are my cup of tea. I let the pool attendants handle the summer for me. I gotta take a break.
I know what you mean, but it sounds like there's a lot going on out there at Westwinds. So those of you who are looking for a place to stay, but she doesn't have any openings, possibly July or August, but
you gotta get on that.
If you're looking for a community, not just a housing complex to live in, not just an apartment complex, we're looking for a community to be a part Westwind seems to be the place to live.
Yep, it's a lot of fun out there.
You know, Sarah, we have people on our Facebook that sometimes come on and they have tough questions.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking before I get into this question that this viewer, one of our frequent viewers asked, just by you saying that your vacancy rate is so low and you don't have any openings now, I would assume you don't have a lot of evictions because people stay there a long time. And this particular watcher is concerned about the eviction rate of Blacks and how it is higher than whites. And I'm paraphrasing what he says. And just want to know what are you doing to modify that process? And I almost kind of answered that, but it's going to have to come from you because your vacancy rate is so low. So it doesn't seem like that would be something that your place will fall in the category. But how would you address that?
I mean, we really do have a low eviction rate as well at Westwinds. And I think with our company in general, we have very, we have to be consistent in our policies regardless of, there are protected classes and we're consistent in our practices. It's been a tough, pandemic has really been tough because the laws have changed. And, but I am very, I don't know if it's accommodating but I'm very diligent is the word I'm looking for. And just, keeping an open line of communication with the residents and what they're going through and, offering different resources so that it's very difficult to get into an eviction status if you're really utilizing your resources. We've been very fortunate with the rent assistance program. We have a lot of residents on the rent assistance program, fortunately and unfortunately. It's not ideal that you would be in a situation where you would need so much assistance, but thank goodness the assistance has been there for them. And then we also work with different organizations like Stop Inc. and social services, different organizations that can help with the rent. There is a number that residents can call, 211, if you have a need for financial assistance. So there's plenty of opportunities to qualify for aid so that you're not in an eviction situation.
So those opportunities were there even before the pandemic and the relief that the rental relief that the government passed down. So people that were in those situations, and I think it's probably important to say that if you're in a rental and you're in that situation, just like in a mortgage, contact you or contact the people and and explain what's going on. And
yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna be 100% honest, like the judges have been really tough, but the one thing that has caused most evictions is lack of communication or not communicating. So if you were to, like at this point, if you had gotten your 14-day notice, you have 14 days to take care of your rent or enter into repayment plan, get rental assistance. There's several ways. The biggest way to get evicted is to not respond to the notices. And that's one of the things the judges ask. Did you tell them you're having a difficult situation? Did you make a payment plan? Did you? And they're, honestly, through the whole pandemic, I've only just filed six unlawful detainers. And really it was just because they never responded to the text message. They never responded to the letters. They never responded to the emails. They never responded to the voicemails. So those are things that can get you, like, you have to communicate. That's the main thing with the judges. If there's been no response, if you even responded one time and said, hey, I'm going through something, I'll pay you, blah, 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 make a promise to pay, it's very hard to get evicted if you've responded. Yeah,
it's just a matter of communicating, and
it's communication.
So everybody goes through something at some point, and at a point where everybody went through something at the same time.
Exactly.
Like I said, before that, every individual things come up, and you just have to, again, communicate. And like I tell people, I was a realtor about the mortgage. most mortgage companies don't want your house, but they want their money as well. And they will work with you if you talk to them in advance. But if you don't say anything, it's going to be a sign in front of your house. But
And I
yeah,
get it's embarrassing, and it's it's a hard conversation to have with a stranger. But if you create that environment where it's comfortable for them to come and talk with you, then it's not a tough conversation. I mean, we wear a lot of hats in this business, and that's one of them. I like to say sometimes I'm a counselor, because I let people come in and let me know what's going on. I've got a very open door policy when it comes to that.
and sometimes I have to say it's the difference between just being a property manager and a community manager.
Yeah, I think you're right. Mhm.
The term community manager just adds more to what you do as a manager.
Right.
Another question that one of our listeners have asked is, how are you helping to reduce energy costs for the residents? Is there anything that your company is doing to help to reduce the energy costs?
I mean, that's a tough one, because we don't manage the utility companies.
Mhm.
As far as within their apartments, I mean, we change the air filters pretty regularly. We service their ACs pretty regularly. We do a lot of preventative maintenance to help keep their costs down. And with that too, like, it definitely becomes a communication thing with that as well. If your AC is running or your toilet's running, you have to report those things.
Exactly.
Utilities up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason I mentioned about being registered downtown or as a group or as an apartment. Since you are socially connected, you can be connected to the city in ways, because even though when city council is down there and the budget time is there and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do, if they're going to add 3 cents to the utility tax or something like that. It's good to have a voice down there from the apartments as well as the single family home residents to speak up and let it be known, because it affects them too. And that's so many people in apartments just so disconnected with what goes on in the city because they don't think it involves them. But hopefully, and I'm sure you are getting that information out to them and letting them be responsible or aware of the rights they have. Just, single family home residents. They are still residents of the city.
Yeah.
Voting residents.
And I always say I'm their biggest advocate.
Mm-hmm. James, share with her who she needs to go and register with, just an event that she may not know or someone who's listening may know.
The person you would call is the city clerk, who is Deborah White.
Mm-hmm.
Call her and tell her, she can guide you and tell you if it's even possible or not. But I think it is. But I've seen groups on that list. I think Swanson Homes had a tenant council and they were on that list along with these the civic leagues. So if you call down to the city clerk's office and Deborah White's office, and if you don't talk to her, any of those competent ladies down there probably can answer your question and tell you how you go about doing that.
Okay, great. Thank you for that.
Quite welcome.
And I guess we'll have to try to see a way. You said your event on Saturday is from 11 until 2.
1.
11 until 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know if Portsmouth Coffee Talk would be out there or not.
I'm going to try to get out there. I don't see anything right now, but I have to look and see if there's anything up for Saturday.
Yes.
It's a big day. I know that. It's a big day in the city. There's so many going on.
At the track at Churchland.
Yeah.
And you can guide me as far as taking the picture, because she helped me out. No, you have to stand over here and put me in the right position to take that photo.
I'm the work mom. We got to take a group picture all the time. I get on their nerves bad, but then we were at the Autism Walk and I'm like, come on, let's get everybody together. It's important. Gotta make memories.
That's right. Always creating memories. It's all about the memories.
Yeah, I'll try to be out there, and I'll let you know before the week is out if I'll definitely be out there. And Leah has so many things going on, she probably will run through, it all depends on what she's doing, but
I understand.
we try to,
I would probably run through because I think this is the third Saturday, if I'm not correct. Is this the third Saturday?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I have my youth group. Sankofa is on Saturday, but I'm going to try to find a way to sneak away for a few minutes and come back.
Good.
so we'll be out there. I'd like to film that because I think it's, really it's unique, the apartment things. And hopefully, with you being on other shows and being on this show, that some other apartments will see that and say, that's something to do,
Mhm.
involve the people that are out there, because a lot of times in those apartments, a lot of people don't know they live out. They might be in Kroger and find out and spark up a conversation, say, I live in Westwinds too, and they never
Yeah.
knew.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So,
And Lisa
Yeah.
Graham has been giving you shout outs all morning.
Oh
And
my
she
gosh.
said, and she
No.
said, Sarah, I work Saturday or I would be out there. So Lisa gave you a good shout out here this
Oh,
morning.
this is Lisa's shirt. Nails to see and more.
Oh, no wonder she shouted out. You wearing her apparel. Okay.
That shop. I love it, and I love Lisa. We've been doing a lot of pop-up shops together, and I just love her.
Good. Excellent.
And sister.
Excellent. Uh-huh. Yeah, I saw that. She's been on here making comments constantly. So
Huh?
this is great. She says that you are amazing, Sarah. So
Yeah.
well, good.
yes, sir. And as we wind down, I'll say, you're very involved in a lot of things other than what you do as a community manager of the apartments. And I wanted to say this too: when you get the opportunity, go on Leah's page
Okay.
and look at some of the comments, especially the ones from Gary Harris.
Gary Harris, yes.
Comments, and they're constructive, comments, so and other people have made comments as well. So sometimes it's good we can't always bring them up during the show, but it's good to go to her page and just look at those comments that are directed at the show today and what you're doing out there at Westwinds. And we appreciate you coming on and talking about this. And like I said, I hope it catches on to other apartments. I just never really thought about it, just like the people that live out there, having an involvement like you are in the public life, because a lot of people look at it like, well, I'm just passing through, especially with a lot of military. You get a lot of military in the apartments and they're just there for a while. But people forget about those long-term people that stand up. So before we go off, could you think of any other annuities of the apartment life or that West Wing offers? West Winds, I'm sorry, I said West Wing.
It's like the kickball event.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, like we've been talking about it. It really just is a matter of building community wherever you are. Even when you were speaking on the military families that are just here for a short time, you have to still be creating that experience for them, because while this might be a short stop, they are never, they're going to remember their experience at Westwinds. They're going to talk about it to their friends on the boat. They're going to, when someone else comes to Virginia, oh, you have to go to Westwinds. We have several military families who have relocated and then come back, and they come back to Westwinds because that's where they're comfortable. We've even had different families, generations, so that, you lived there with your mom and your grandmother back in the 80s, and now you're getting your own place now, and now this is home to you because it's what's comfortable. But like you said, like other apartment managers really have to, I hope that I can be an inspiration to them to also be doing the same things. I'm very blessed to work for a company who allows me this opportunity. They understand my passion for building community. I don't know what other property, like I said, I'm a lifer. So, I'm not used to that at other companies, but hopefully companies will understand their corporate responsibility and that they have to build community as well and give back as well.
That's great. And I almost forgot something, because this is important to a lot of people, to Leah and myself. I was a pet owner at one time, and my
Yes.
first apartment, you know, I lost my security deposit because of my dog, but on us, we didn't.
Yeah.
Dog was pretty wild, but anyway, I wanted you to mention
Friendly.
what's out there.
You
So
pet friendly?
yeah,
Yes,
talk
ma'am.
about
Mine,
Gotcha.
mine is right here. If you
Oh.
see my hands moving, she's right here making me rub her right now as we speak.
So what is, you know, usually in apartments, if you want a pet, there are costs involved.
Yeah, we do. We have pet fees as well. $300 pet fee and then 25 a month. But, you know, I think that's pretty standard across the board with other communities as well. We have an 85-pound weight limit and then the no aggressive breeds, of course.
No
We also
horses. No
amenities for your fur babies. We have 2 bark parks with agility courses. We do pet events. We're really ridiculous out there, but
Yeah, pet events as
that's
well.
family. Oh yes.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. After the summer's over, we if go like our Westwinds Facebook page, because we have
Okay.
many fun pictures of all the different events. But right after the pool closes for human swimmers, we have the best puppy pool party, and we have little snacks that look like people snacks. The dogs actually get in the pool and swim. We had some pretty good swimmers at our puppy pool parties, but it's so much fun.
Uh-huh. And you know, I gotta say one thing, Sarah. I was concerned because I had not been seeing Patsy Cavendish Hines on Mondays. And I just mentioned to James before you came on, I said, well, I haven't seen Patsy on. I'm gonna have to check to see what's going on with her because she's been a faithful follower of Portsmouth Coffee Talk since we began. And I see now she says, Patsy says, Sarah is awesome. We thank God that she has that kind of community spirit for her facility. So
Thank you, Pat.
yes, and we're glad to have Patsy back on with us as well. So thank you, Patsy.
Come see me Saturday.
She said, come see her Saturday, Patsy. I'm looking at the phone like she can see me looking at her, okay?
And one thing too, you know, how many people can have a pool, you know, the access to a pool
Exactly.
that you don't have to maintain. and along with the other annuities. And it's unfortunate that it sounds so great out there for people that for the apartment life, and that you have no vacancies right now.
Yeah.
But it's understandable that you have a waiting list because of what you all have to offer for people out there that are going to live in the apartment. So
Yeah.
And the fact that it's a safe place to live, that's extremely important. Safety is the number one factor. So that's a good thing there. So
Yeah. Can't guarantee everybody's safety, but we do put measures in place to.
exactly. Through your relationship with the police department as well as with the private security agency that you have
Yeah.
out there working with you. So that's a good thing.
there's
Yeah.
some of the neighbors can't say I didn't hear anything when somebody lives right, they're sharing a wall with you.
Exactly.
Some neighbors,
No,
didn't
when I married my husband, he was from Missouri and he lived in the country. And so he really was not comfortable with the apartment living. So, but I loved it. That's all I knew when I had first moved out. And so it was really a transition for me to move to a house because I thought, oh my gosh, who will hear me if something happens to me? I had that serious sense of comfort because I knew my neighbor was right there.
Right.
Assessment for me, big time. Was calling the police over everything, but I thought, sorry.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. But again, we thank you so much for coming on. And this first time we had someone to talk about apartments and one of the most overlooked living
Arrangements.
arrangements.
Mhm.
Thank you.
It was
Thank you.
funny when I told my husband that I said, you know, we have right under 1,200 residents. Like we're like a small city. He said, my mom lives in a small town of Moberly. They have 385. It's on the sign.
Yeah, and I think it's important we brought this up because there's so many apartments in the city. And you know, the goal for downtown is to make downtown a walkable city. And that's why so many apartments down there, and where people who live there that just can walk everywhere they want to go. Like in the big cities, people that live in apartments, Leah's experienced this being in New York, you know, you walk most places or
Yes,
you
you
ride
did.
your bike right out
Mhm.
because everything is right there centralized.
Mhm.
You know, probably kind of like that in some ways out in Churchland. There's some places where you can go, where you can just walk or ride your bike. So
It's nice actually to drive up Town Point Road some days and just see everyone walking. You know,
Mhm.
we had our community cleanup day, the people who would just stop and say, let me know when you're doing this again. I would love to come help. You know, it's comfortable.
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I'm glad you mentioned that too, your community cleanup day. So
Mhm.
cleanup is concentrated at keeping the apartment area clean, or do you all go outside of it?
Road. We go one end of Town Point to the other end of town. Well, to around the Long Point area. We kind of cut it off there and go all the way to Churchland Boulevard.
Oh,
Mm.
wow. Okay. That's good to
A
know
lot
too.
going on. A lot going on out there at Westwinds.
Yes,
It's a
yes,
great
indeed.
thing.
Well,
Again, but we will end this time. I'm sorry. We got a couple.
James, I can't end without mentioning to the those out there in Facebook world, and thank you all. My granddaughter came on a couple of weeks ago. I'm really excited about what she did, her piece on mental health that she did for us, and she finished out her junior year with 4 A's and a B. So
Yay.
North Carolina A&T senior coming up,
Coming
rising
up.
senior in
And
North Carolina.
Congratulations.
I can see her being really involved on that campus, you know. And I will say it again, anybody who didn't see that show with Leah's
Leah
granddaughter,
Money.
Leah Money, go back to our Facebook page and watch that. You know, I was excited and glad that we got an actual college student, a young person, our future, to talk to us, and it gave me hope. Gave me hope for our future when, you know, finally decide to just sit down and do nothing. Well, I'll never do that because it's not
No,
good.
it's not in your genes. It's not in your DNA, Slim.
We're talking, but anyway, that was encouraging to see her. So, and also Leah, before we go, talk about the success of the.
Oh, the Norcom walk around. Oh my
And
goodness.
I think Sarah, you went to D Creek High.
I did.
Well,
Okay, so
honey, you can still be an associate member of IC Norcom High School Alumni Association. But we had an amazing walk around. We were concerned about the rain, and Dr. Foster, who is the principal, invited us into the building. He was having a feeder school program going on. We have the 9 schools that feed into Norcom High School from the elementary and middle school. He had those students in there, and we, the seasoned graduates of Norcom, we were on one end of the building and the younger children were on the other end of the building, but we were able to meet and mingle. We were able to go in when the band played the Norcom Rock. We seniors, we got out there and we did the little Norcom Rock with the band, and we just had a glorious day. For those who missed the 2nd annual Greyhound Walk Around, you missed a fabulous experience. When I saw the rain and when I thought we were moving indoors, and I said, oh God, what are we gonna do? It just reminded me, God says your plans never supersedes mine. I got a much better plan than you will ever have. And the plan to that rain forced us inside, and it forced us to come
closer
together
together.
as opposed to
Closer
being
together.
separated.
Right.
So it was a fabulous day. It was really a fabulous day. And I just want to thank everyone who participated, those who supported us financially. We appreciate you so much. And all that we make, all that we earn in these fundraisers goes directly to the students and scholarships for students at Norcom High School. So I want to thank everyone who participated. James was there. He went live. I'm sure there's going to be a YouTube page of him going live. So go in and
Go to
subscribe
my
to our
page,
YouTube page.
the live pages, and congratulations to the class of 91
1991.
who were the rulers of the yard because they had the most people, classmates there participating.
Exactly.
My class, we had a few, but
And my
we
class
didn't
had even fewer.
we didn't get close. And the last thing, I'm sorry, sir, before we go off, congratulations to Darian Finney-Smith, who the Dallas Mavericks won
Yes.
last night in Game 7, and they're moving on to play the Warriors. So that should be an interesting series. But our hometown guy, Northam,
Another Norcom Greyhound.
is still moving on in the pros. So we're going to keep on rooting him on. So
Yes, yes.
that's all. And Sarah, thanks for hanging in there and let
Thank
us
you, Sarah.
own
Hey, thank
horns there for me.
Me. This was a lot.
And it wasn't as bad as you thought it was going to be. There was no need for nervousness, okay? We are
Never
family.
do.
We are family. Just like you
Never
building
do nervous
community.
when you
And
come
what's
on
your
Portsmouth
slogan?
Coffee
Your slogan is what?
We're friends who become family. Now we're family.
We're family. So we're family with you as well now, okay?
And we'll Portsmouth Coffee Talk. Thank you. And Portsmouth Coffee Talk is here for our vote,
Our community and our future.
our future.
Yep.
Amen.
Thank you for joining us today and see us, join us this Thursday at 7 p.m.
No,
on our
actually,
Portsmouth Coffee-
James, this
Oh, I'm
Thursday,
We go-
we're starting at 5 for the show. And we have Miss Kim Kim. That's going to be an interesting show. You need to come on and watch that show at 5 o'clock on Thursday. And then, James, 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock we'll be at IC Norcom at the dedication of a grand piano that was dedicated to the school in what 1954?
1953.
1953 by the AKAs, and it just got back from France being refurbished. They had
Yes.
to go all the way to France to be refurbished. And that's going to be a big event as well. So
And you're gonna hear the melodious voices of the IC Norcom chorus under the direction of Maestro Joe Harmon. And you will also hear our wonderful band on that day as well. So come on out and join us on Thursday night at 7 o'clock at IC Norcom High School.
and don't forget to join Sara this Saturday at
Yes.
Westwinds for their, I'm not even going to try to say kick and cookout.
Right.
All in cookout. So from 11 to 1, I believe it is.
Correct.
So join them out there.
I just want to put this last plug out there because
Sure.
we are still collecting bikes for the Stop the Violence bike drive. So if you have any more bicycles, new or gently used, if you could just drop them off at the Westwinds Clubhouse, or you can get in touch with Monica Atkins for other drop-off locations. But she
Okay.
really trying to collect 100 bikes. That's the big goal, and we're a little short, so we need to get them bikes in so that she can have that nice bike ride on the 4th.
Well, if people don't have the bikes, can they make donations toward the bikes? Or
Yeah, they would just need to get in touch with Monica for that. Monica Atkins.
Monica Atkins, yes, yes.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
And one last thing, Gina, we keep saying one last thing. I
Yeah.
mentioned the band. However, I didn't mention the band director. Mr. Derek Wright is the band director at Norcom. So you will hear the band as well as the chorus on Thursday night at 7 o'clock at IC Norcom High School.
Perfect.
That is the last thing, Sarah, I promise you.
Bart, no, I'm just kidding. I could do this all day. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
so very
Thank
much.
you.
We appreciate you so very much.
No problem. Hey,
Great job. Great job.
thank you.
Maybe I need to move my Sankofa group and bring them out to Westwinds as opposed to meeting at the church, James.
Might as well.
Hey, let them have a good day. You
Let
may
them
have to
have-
give that consideration, Sarah, okay?
I'm gonna put them on a kickball team. They better be ready. No,
They will be ready, believe me. Believe me, they will be. I may have to do that, Sarah, okay? If that's okay with you,
fine with me. More than
then
merry.
I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone then.
I like it. I like it.
Okay. So, James,
Yeah.
are we really off now? I mean, Sarah left us.
No, I
Sarah said, I'm gone. She said, you've been leaving for three minutes now. You haven't gone yet. Thanks a lot, Sarah. Thank you so very much.
thanks,
Have all
guys.
these encores.
Yes, yes.
All right. Y'all have a good
Okay,
day.
thanks everybody for watching. We appreciate you. God bless you.
God bless. Bye-bye.